So a lot of your fathers did not do this well because they didn't know how. It's the only role a man often has to play without a script or a blueprint. If he didn't see it demonstrated at home, putting a ring on his finger doesn't make him a husband. Handing him a baby doesn't make him a father. What is that? And then there's nothing worse than having a woman tell you what you ought to be as a man. Because it's like me trying to tell you what you ought to be as a woman. I don't know anything about being a mother. So a lot of times what happens in a relationship, both of you are acting like you know what you're doing and you don't. So you're telling him what a husband ought to be and what a man, if he was any kind of man, you would do so and so and so. Truth is, you don't know what you're talking about. He's telling you what a wife ought to be and what a woman ought to be. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And the humility of admitting that neither one of us are sure, help us to do this. We don't know what we're doing. Help us to do this. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know how to act. There are certain parts of my mother I don't want to see in me. There are certain parts of my father I don't want to see in me. Help to burn out of me the chaff, and so that I am left with the wheat, so that my mother's mouth doesn't get in the conversation or my father's temper doesn't get in the conversation. We got these ghosts. We've all got these ghosts, and those ghosts are relationship killers.
As a sign of what a dad speaks over your life, what would you say?
Oh my gosh, we could be here all night. First of all, let's go back to the man who left or quit or ran away. Understand the difference between weakness and wickedness. You cannot live with a man successfully if you don't make that distinction. Because intimacy means I can trust you with my weaknesses, okay? You enjoy my strength, you benefited from my strength, you have to be able to embrace my weaknesses, or I'm not really wholly there with you. And then I start showing up and not being there because we are cavemen. So we go in a cave and don't come out. Something scared us into a cave. If a man's in a cave, something put him in the cave, and sometimes he can't get out by himself. He's trapped in his own cave. And getting him out doesn't mean that he doesn't want to come out. It's just that he can't get out like Adam went behind the fig leaves. We always go behind something when something hurts us. So that's important to understand. So him leaving may have been his cave, his escape. He may have been weak in areas, like your sons are weak in areas. And you have to be able to embrace the weakness, or you can't be his friend. And the underbelly of the relationship is friendship, okay? Now, there's a sharp distinction between weakness and wickedness. Going in your child's bedroom at night, to me, that's wicked. That's wicked. Or sick and need help. I'll give it that, okay? When a man is wicked, when he is wicked, that guy is dangerous. That guy is abusing you, he's burning you with cigarettes, he's hitting you in the head, your eye is bruised, your jawbone is broken. That's not a weakness. That's wicked. From such turn away. The valuable thing I would say to the women who had no fathers, I am saying, first of all, that God will always bring somebody into your life to give you what you didn't get. It may be a grandfather, it may be an uncle, it may be a professor at a university. There's always somebody who comes along who gives you what you didn't get. Here's the challenge though. If you're so bitter about what you didn't get, you don't have the ability to receive what God is sending from someone else in your life. Ultimately, you're a grown woman. And when the rubber hits the road, you're out there. It's like having a baby. You are on your own, sweetheart. But to have the fortification of somebody who says, I got your back, I'm there for you, I'll cover you, I'll defend you, I'll fight off your enemies, but I might fuss at you about them when I get home because you brought that on yourself, because you told her your business, and that's how your business got out there. And it never would have happened if you'd have shut up, and you didn't have to do that.
Shut up.
Yeah. That begins to set some ground rules. I'm old school, and what I'm saying is old school, and it's outdated. And I know people don't think this way anymore. But it's hard for a woman to be without covering. I don't think that you were meant to be without covering. That you had to shovel the snow and drive the car and go to work and do it all. Nobody, and raise the children by yourself and fix the door and deal with the plumber and go down to the auto mechanic and not get tricked in the deal. That's a lot. We all need partnership, men and women. I'm not saying that women are the only ones who need it, but you need that covering. The thing now is, the popular thing is, I don't need anybody. I don't need anything. I'm all right by myself. I make good money. I went to school. I got a degree. I can take care of myself. I bought this house. I'm fine. And that's fine if you choose to do that. You will probably die alone. Now, at 30, that's sexy. Alone, got your own car, got your own house, going by yourself, doing whatever you need to do. I'm all right, I'm fine. At 60 something and 70 something, that's not so sexy at all. My back is out, my knee is out. We gotta help each other get up off the couch. It is not always fun to grow old alone. Don't let your young self write a check that your old self cannot cash. You don't want to do that. That's one thing. Second thing, if I were your father, I would tell you this. A man needs room. He needs to be needed. So while I'm proud of your success, God knows I am. I was raised by a strong black woman. Educated, independent, made her own money. I've never had a problem with a woman being strong. I've always encouraged. I married a strong. I'm married. The most amazing thing for me over the years was to see how extremely strong your mother is. She is absolutely a superhero that needs brass bands around her. No, I'm telling you, she's soft-spoken. You don't have to pop your neck to be strong. There's a difference between being mean and being strong. Everybody mean is not strong. Most people who are mean are actually weak and they're trying to defend themselves. So there's a difference between being mean and being strong. Just because a person is soft-spoken doesn't mean that they're not strong. She's been tested in the fire. She's been tested in the hospital. She's been tested in the labor room. She's been tested at the graveside. I've seen her in so many situations where she's absolutely amazing. So I don't have any problem with you being strong. But the day you become so strong that your diploma is telling me how much you don't need me, don't expect me to be attracted when you hung out a sign that said no vacancy. So that means I need to understand what I bring to your life, especially when you are so gifted. What do you get from me that you wouldn't get from anybody else? Why am I important to you? Why am I here? And if you are at least equally as verbal about why you need me as you are verbal about what you have accomplished, do you not know you just created a room for me to live in? So without that room for a man to live in, he needs to be your hero. He needs to feel significant, especially if he's a minority and deals with a world that treats him as insignificant. He doesn't want to come home and have that insignificance reinforced. And because men right now are lost, completely lost like nothing I've ever seen before, the desperation for identity is staggering, because we're trying to figure out as a species, as a gender, who are we now? Where do we fit? Who needs me? That leads to drug abuse, affairs, suicide, death. Creating that space for him to dwell in, whether in the home or in the workplace, if you're working with men, just because you can do it doesn't mean you ought to do it. Delegating some area where I get to be important too feeds what I need to be fed as a man in order to go forward. These conversations are the kind of conversations that we have around the dinner table all the time, even if you weren't here. And if you're a woman out there wondering what it would be like to have a father, it would be like this. It would be like this, only there'd be some chicken and some potato salad and some cornbread and some collard greens and whatever you eat. And I know we've gotten away from family dinners, but that's where things get talked about and worked out and discussed. You cannot just live off of Happy Meals and fast cars and hold your family together. I'm not even saying you got to cook it, because I married a woman that couldn't cook.
Strong woman who couldn't cook.
Yeah. I taught Sarita how to cook. Now, to me, she cooks better than me. But I married a woman that couldn't cook. But I also married a woman who created a room for me. She wasn't competing with me. I never competed with her. If she's in charge, I step back. I step way back. That's her area of rule. I learned not to be too helpful. I learned that when she talks, she doesn't want me to solve it. She wants me to listen. That goes against everything in me. Because if you brought it to me and you're upset about it, my first instinct, whether it's you being pregnant or whether the car won't start or whether it's somebody who gets on your nerves at work, my first instinct as a man is to fix it for you. And the thing that men have to learn is the woman doesn't want you to fix it. She just needs to air it. That was an aha moment for me, okay? That was a big aha moment for me. And if she boils around to asking me what I think, then I say something carefully. But understanding those sorts of things are very important. I want to say one other thing. Whatever has got you hurt, your first husband, your divorce, the husband you got now, hurt you, cheated on you, did something, daddy left you, whatever hurt you, you have got to learn to get over it quicker. You cannot put pain in your womb and let it grow inside of you until it destroys you, because something else is going to happen. That what you have to do with pain is look it straight in the face and look at it from more angles than your own. Okay? Because The art to living with somebody is thinking from their side, okay? And so when you put yourself in their shoes, their background, their body of experiences, then it becomes a lot better, easier to get over it, okay? And so you have to get over it because something else is gonna happen next week. You're gonna look up next week and somebody's in the hospital, and somebody got run over by a car, and you look up 2 weeks from now, you know, you're standing on stage. Good and bad things happen over and over and over again. But because you're nurturers by nature, you're nurturers by nature, it works out good for us in your womb. It works out good for us in your bed. But it works out bad for you if you take that nurturing skill and use it in your mind to nurture negative, painful, hurtful images that you hold in the womb of your mind for years and years and feed them. You breastfeed your pain by bringing it up again and rehearsing it with other people and talking to other people about it. You keep it alive. And so what the enemy is trying to do is use your God-given instincts against you. So you have to be careful, because the problem with being gifted is that every moon has a dark side. When we say it's a full moon, it's never a full moon. There's still as much dark as there is light, okay? And so what you have to understand about life and about people is that there is a dark side, and you have to deal with all of that if you're gonna have a whole relationship and be strong. And the only way you can deal with it is emptying out of your womb everything, every bitter, toxic, angry, I'm gonna show them vindictive thing, because you won't have enough energy to be successful. Success takes a lot of energy, and you're spending too much energy on toxicity to have the power that's necessary to break through the barrier between mediocrity and to greatness. That's a thick wall between mediocrity and greatness, is a thick wall, and you need both your hands free and your feet free. You gotta kick it and punch it and stomp it, and you don't have time to be bitter about nothing. You gotta get your hands free, because you only got a minute. And your baby's gonna be grown, and you're gonna be gray-haired. You blink again, you're gonna be in a casket or a nursing home. You can't afford to be confused 30 years. You can't afford to be upset for 15 years. Issues turn into marital issues. I don't trust him because I couldn't trust my dad. I don't think he's gonna stay. I got abandonment issues. I'm angry, I'm fearful, I'm afraid to open up, I'm afraid to give myself, I'm afraid to trust. I don't feel pretty, I don't feel valuable. I don't understand men. I'm hurt. I've been through all kinds of stuff. You can't let your past rob your future. That's too much power to give folks who are going on about their business. If they can live without you, you can live without them. Let them people go. I'm gonna do like David and wash my face and anoint my head and go on with my life. I taught my daughters to be strong, to be self-reliant, to have a man because you want one, not because you need one. To be able to take care of yourself, to have a vision for yourself, to have a dream for yourself, so that you can be partners together in life, equally contributing something to life. I taught my daughters to have a vision and to fight for it and to have a mind. Too much emotions, not enough mind. Everybody got emotions, but they don't need to be driving your car. It's going to affect your finances. It's going to affect your future, everything else, because money is a science. It's not an art. It does not respond to emotions. Business does not respond to emotions. Success does not respond to emotions. Success don't care how you feel about it, girl. It does not care how you feel about it. Get your emotions out from behind the wheel. Now, you're grown women. Forgive your father. That's why you can't forgive you. There are no perfect people. Let him go. Whatever drove him probably had nothing to do with you. If he struck out on drugs, if he was gay, that don't have nothing to do with you. God still used him to bring you into this world. I speak what your father couldn't. I speak blessings over your life. I decree and declare that you will be whole and healthy, that you will be a survivor and strong, that your visions will come to pass in your lifetime, that you will eat the fruit of your labor in spite of the crushings that have happened in your life, that God would bring wine out of those moments in your life that threaten to destroy you. I decree and declare that your latter day shall be greater than your former day. I decree and declare that every glass ceiling will be shattered, that every closed door will be opened, that people will recognize your worth and pay you for your value and not for your gender. I decree and declare. I raise my hand over tumors in your womb. I speak life to your belly. I speak deliverance to your body. I rebuke cancer out of your breasts. I rebuke nodules out of your womb. I rebuke growths. I rebuke them now in the name of Jesus. I speak to your blood. I speak healing into your blood. I speak healing into your blood system. I speak healing over HIV. I speak healing over every disease that will come against you, diabetes, hypertension, emotional disorders. And finally, I raise my hand of blessing over your mind. I speak peace to your mind. Sometimes your mind is working against you. It stops you from peace. But today I decree and declare that the peace of God be upon you from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. I decree and declare that you will live and not die, that you will live and not die, that you will be strong, you will be mighty. I decree and declare that God will raise up people around your life and you will stop running from them, and they will strengthen your vision and strengthen your dream, and your capacity to receive will be endless. Enlarge your courts, my daughters, and strengthen your stakes, because your latter day shall be greater than your former day. What God is about to do in you is bigger than anything you have ever imagined in your life. And we touch and agree and we receive it now. I'm out of time. I'm going to hug my daughter. When I hug my daughter, I'm hugging you. I'm hugging you. I want you to see your father, your heavenly father, your natural father, your stepfather, your grandfather, your uncle. I want you to rest your head in the covering of love this day. I'm here because I love you.